when you were talking about, things that you look back in the past and you shame yourself and you're like, oh, I did this. I'm a bad person. I regret that. It's all these things. And when you start talking about them, you realize like, we're not born into this world and we just are all perfect. We're all flawed, and that's just a reality. And you are going to do things that, you look back and you go, oh my God, if anybody knew that, they would think I'm just not a nice person, or if I'm not. But it's all about the end game, right? Like if you evolve, that's the goal, is to evolve, to not be.
That's the win.
That's the win. So, if I was a certain way when I was younger, it's not who I become today and who I'm becoming. So therapy has taught me a lot about how to, love myself, how to like myself, to look in the mirror and go, hey, dude, you're a good guy. You're a good guy. You do good things. Sometimes you're a dick. Right? You didn't need to say that. You didn't need to say the dick part. You just say you love yourself. And, are you good to yourself? Do you love yourself? I know that's
I know you've probably talked about it already, but just so I have context, when did you start going to therapy? How old were you?
Right after you didn't go out with me again, I think. No. Everybody's like, oh, shut up, Rosenbaum. Enough with that. No, honestly, I think I went through this breakup where it was my fault and I tried to get her back and it didn't happen. And it was devastating. And I know that I caused it. It was my fault. And so one of my friends suggested, is like, you should talk to someone. I'm like, well, what am I going to do? I went through a breakup. Oh, poor me. But people go through this. This is what you need. It's nice to talk to someone objectively and just say, hey, I feel this emptiness. I don't want to do anything. I lost my appetite. I can't stop. I'm obsessive thinking about this. And, and I've never been the guy where I was like ever checking up on someone or like not weird shit. It was just in my head. I just felt like shit.
Yeah. You carried it. Yeah.
I carried it. And it took a while to get rid of that. And just talking to someone for an hour. And a lot of times Ryan here, I got him into therapy, but we think, oh, I don't want to go. Fine, I don't want to talk. I'm not in the mood. I'm going to cancel this. I'll eat the $100 or whatever the fuck it is, and I'll just I'm not going to do it today. I have nothing to talk about. And then all of a sudden you start talking, and all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, I got 5 minutes left. I still want to get into this. Every time you just letting things out kind of clears a little bit of that, a little bit of your mind. So
and I'm a natural talker. I had to also realize that I can, like, there's certain, I would lean on friendships a lot. And so that's where I also had to, check myself in adulthood, is really making sure I had a place where I could go that also wasn't like, oh, let me release all this weight that I'm carrying and be like, here, you organize it.
Yeah.
Marie Kondo it for me. Where I had to kind of take responsibility and do that. So it didn't affect other friendships and relationships of mine. But the other thing I'll say that I always like to say for anyone that listens and is like, well, I'm never going to go to or I tried therapy once and it didn't work out for me, is like, that's not one size fits all either.
No.
It is if you go to a therapist and you don't like the way they do therapy, like, you should always make a few appointments. Like, a lot of therapists will offer like potentially a free introduction, session.
Or change therapist. If you don't feel the vibe, just change
therapist.
It's not your fault if it doesn't work out.
No. And if they're a good therapist, they should say like, absolutely, like, let me know if you need any recommendations. Hope you find someone. Anyone who tries to guilt you into staying, like, is usually not a good sign.
No, I had one guy. I left him years ago. I went to him probably a handful of times. And because one of my friends went to him, he's like, he's really good. And it was like the third session. The guy's like eating a Subway sandwich while he's talking to me in the room. He's just eating a Subway sandwich. He goes, I'm sorry, I haven't had lunch. Are you okay with that? I'm like,
no.
Do I have a choice? Have a choice? Well, you're hungry. What am I going to say? No, and then it's awkward for the next hour. But you're picking out on this fucking sandwich. Do you have to put so much mayo on there? It's on your fucking lips. So yeah.
No one looks professional eating a Subway sandwich. It is
No.